Well, when you're dealing with buildings that are built in the 20s and the 30s, and you have not done infrastructure work for the last 40, 50 years, there are inherent problems that occur, particularly with steam. Steam is an intensive maintenance problem in all of our buildings, between the traps and the pipes that are buried and they break and we're digging up ground, and we've done that in several buildings several times over the last 5 years. It makes sense to, when we're looking about energy efficiency, can we find better systems, make an initial investment that's going to pay forward in our buildings. And I'm very much about fixing problems, finding current technology to replace aging infrastructure, and then paying that forward over time. When you typically look at an EPC, and this is the third one I've been involved with in this district, it's looking for how am I going to get my bang for my buck. So lighting is typically an area where we know the technology has increased. There are great cost savings in the way we could light buildings, and we're going to realize those in some energy savings over time. Several of my colleagues and I are skeptical about how you quantify those savings. And there's a whole bunch of different methodologies, sometimes smoke and mirrors, to be quite blunt. And what I loved about the project we're undertaking is it's the meter. Let's go to the meter, let's get a baseline, and we're going to demonstrate definitively we saved you money. And that money that we saved is paying for the whole project. I was happy to learn that we could do steam systems, and we're still doing lights and we're doing other things as well, but that combination of different pieces to this EPC was what was really attractive to me. Well, there's this notion that doing it once and doing it correct is better than putting a Band-Aid on something that you know is going to bleed again. And you can pretty much fix the problem, but it's still a problem. Multiple EPCs is not something, it doesn't make sense on the surface. If you're doing an EPC, then why do I need to do another one? Now, some technologies like lighting, I understand. There's a clear, the advances in technology in lighting is clear benefit that if you swap out fixtures, you're gonna save money on electricity, and it's worthwhile doing. Outside of lighting, what are the infrastructure pieces that you would do that are you don't have to visit again? Like, steam to a different kind of heat. You're not gonna do that again. You're gonna do it once. You're going to get a better system, and you're going to leave it alone. And that EPC pays for itself well past the debt service that you're going to incur. Yeah, well, so it's a mutual discussion. It's that tripod. It's the work you need, it's the solution presented, it's the savings generated. And do all three of those make sense when you connect the dots? If they don't make sense, then don't do the project. Well, you have to know what you want. So you have to consult with your facilities director and the people that know your buildings to know what the problems are and what you're trying to solve. To do an EPC for just for the fun of it, I don't know why you would do that. If you have inherent issues that'll uncover in your building condition survey and that your maintenance people know about, well, you want to fix those. But you also have to have an understanding that the company providing the EPC needs to show the savings to make it all work. So there are going to be things that, like lights, we replaced lights 5 years ago. Why do I need to do it again? Well, that's where the biggest savings is. So we have to incur that and do that project so you get something else. And that's the balance that you want to work out when you engage in an EPC. Well, it's got to be a solution to a problem. And if you're not solving a problem, don't do an EPC. Don't do it. There's no reason to do it. Ultimately, we want the most comfortable environment for our kids and our teachers. It's very difficult to learn when you're uncomfortable, whether you're too cold or you're too hot. So we're looking to renovate all of our buildings with that at the forefront.